Overlooking the North Saskatchewan River Valley from a height of 200 feet stands a building that, according to its first inspectors, is surpassed by few of its kind on the continent. Edmonton's Hotel MacDonald stands as a testament to Canada's existence as a nation whose identity is shaped by a unique mixture of different European influences. My name is Owen Joyce, and together with Raquel, Callele and Nairobi, Komant, we will be discussing the significance of the Fairmont Hotel MacDonald in relation to Canadian civic pride and nationalism. For the purpose of this discussion, we define nationalism as an ideology that promotes loyalty and pride in one's country through shared values, culture, and ideals.
We will analyze the context surrounding Canada's economic expansion through the late 19th and early 20th century, specifically in relation to the Grand Trunk Railway, or GTR, and its hotels created by the Ross and MacDonald firm. This includes the identification of unique architectural styles that have developed in Canada during this time, specifically the Chateaux-esque style. This will inform our discussion of the importance of Edmonton's Hotel MacDonald in relation to Canadian identity and Edmonton's geological, cultural, and industrial landscape at the time.
In Western Canada, the story of hotel leisure is deeply connected to the rise of railway transportation. Organized in 1853 and largely financed in Great Britain, the Grand Trunk Railway stretched from the Atlantic to the Pacific coast and became the longest railway in the world. It gave Canadians one of the earliest experiences with big business, introducing new opportunities for national growth. By 1903, a subsidiary line was developed as another transcontinental route between Winnipeg and Edmonton to British Columbia, known as the Canadian Pacific Railway. Despite its vast reach, the GTR became one of the worst commercial failures in Canadian history, facing the 1870s depression, rising construction costs, and frequent accidents due to the use of British materials in unfamiliar Canadian climate, ultimately leaving the railway bankrupt. Before its collapse, the GTR sought to expand through luxury railway hotels, designed to accommodate travelers and promote tourism across the growing rail network. In 1915, the Edmonton MacDonald Hotel joined this chain, exemplifying the GTR's commitment to blending transportation and hospitality. These hotels served as commercial hubs, corporate symbols, and national icons. Through them, Canada's landscape and its identity became both modernized and mythologized, connecting travel, architecture, and nation building in one powerful network.
Before we begin analyzing the chateau style, we must look at the historical context of Canadian architecture during that time. In 1911, the GTR declared their plans to build a beautiful hotel in downtown Edmonton. The hotel was designed by the architectural firm Ross and MacDonald, who were renowned architects based in Montreal. At the time, there were several architectural styles in use throughout the country. Adrian Shepherd, a professor of architecture in Montreal, addresses Canada's mixture of architectural styles in the 19th and early 20th century and defines it as Canadian eclecticism. Canadian eclecticism borrowed from many architectural styles: British Gothic Revival, French Beaux Arts, Romanesque, Byzantine, and many others, depending on the client and purpose of the building. The primary styles, Gothic, Neo-Gothic, and Romantic, expressed ideas of loyalty, morality, and national identity in public, religious, and educational buildings. Eclecticism became central to Canada's national identity. Its tradition of borrowing characteristics from other architectural styles can also be seen in the chateau style. The chateau style was considered to be a uniquely Canadian national style. Inspired by the chateaux in France's Loire Valley and the castles of the Scottish Highlands, this style was used in a majority of the railway hotels. Major railway companies around Canada used the chateau style on their hotels that lined the railway in order to encourage tourists to continue through the country and visit more hotels. Another term for the style of these hotels was called Railway Gothic and was used to project an image of Canada as a nation of sophistication and historical depth. By 1908, the chateau style was recognized as distinctly Canadian. Key characteristics of this style include pitched roofs, crestings, bas-relief, finials or spires, and turreted towers. Several elements of the chateau style used in the Hotel MacDonald are borrowed, such as the carved gargoyles from Gothic and the diagonal entrances from the French chateau. Symmetry was one of the most notable characteristics of the chateau style, although MacDonald did actually break away from this through its asymmetry. Critics of the style say it is not distinctive to Canada, nor was the style consistent when it was used in Canada. However, others believe the inconsistency of each hotel's design within the nation is due to the architects adapting each building to its environment. Canada's vast size and diverse set of land features make this variation in architectural style strongly connected to Canadian adaptability and identity.
Now that we have established the key characteristics of the chateau style in Canada and the role of railway hotels in Canada's budding national identity, we can turn to Edmonton's own Hotel MacDonald to understand the implications of these movements on our city. From 1901 to 1914, Edmonton's population exploded from a mere 2,616 to 72,516 people, which is an over 2,700% increase. Due to this rapid growth and the expansion of the GTR into the Edmonton area in 1909, Ross and MacDonald built the Hotel MacDonald to establish Edmonton as a notable stopping point as the GTR expanded west. The MacDonald, built in the chateau style, with an Indiana limestone finish, opened to over 500 ceremony attendees on July 6, 1915. The exterior is lined with classical ornaments, with decorative fleur-de-lis and human and natural depictions lining the wide columns and high arches of the entrance and terrace. Entering the large rotunda, there are two lounges lined with dark oak paneling that open onto the grand terrace. An adorned concrete fireplace sits in one lounge under an oil painting of the Fathers of Confederation. Ross and MacDonald embrace the history of Canada in these furnishings and the building's architectural style. The MacDonald takes advantage of Edmonton's unique landscape, breaking chateau standards of symmetry and the presence of a ballroom, instead electing to construct a massive terrace placed between two asymmetrical wings extending from the rotunda in the center of the building. Gatherings typical of a ballroom were instead located on the terrace, allowing a breathtaking view of the river valley and the ornamental chateau exterior, cementing Edmonton's legacy in the national industry of railway hotels. By putting a local spin on the distinctive Canadian chateau style, the Hotel MacDonald represents the unity of Canadian nationalism and Edmontonian pride.
By analyzing the unique characteristics of Edmonton's Hotel MacDonald, particularly in how it strays from the Canadian chateau style, we come to the conclusion that it stands as a distinct and iconic representation of Canadian diversity and Edmontonian adaptation. The ways in which the GTR transformed Canadian society industrially and commercially laid the groundwork for luxurious hotels to develop a unique national identity. The chateau style blends influences in the same way that Canada was formed from multiple global populations. By connecting the specificities of the nation, city, and architecture, we prove the importance of Hotel MacDonald in the broader conversation of Canadian architectural identity. This concludes our video on the MacDonald Hotel. Thank you so much for tuning in.